Time. This is Benji Bruce with Speaking Lifestyle. Let's get going. Let's talk about pitching events, how to say, whatever you need to say to get yourself booked on stages. So let's get going. Let's refresh some feeds, see who's hopping on real quick. All right. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about pitching events. We're going to go over a pitch and we're just going to talk about what do you need to say to get yourself booked on a stage. If you don't know what to say to get booked on a stage, you better learn. I mean, that's how you're going to get booked on a stage. So you got to learn how to pitch events. You got to do it the right way. Otherwise, you're just going to struggle all day, every day, wondering like, why am I not getting booked, right? So you got to figure out, how am I going to pitch? What am I going to say? What's my specific pitch? That's what you really got to do. Cool. What up, Maggie? What up, Kathy? What up, Ricardo? All right. What up, everybody? You said, like a bad penny, I'm back. Cool. Nice. I like that. I'm back. All right. What up, Paul? What up, everybody? So like I said, today we're going to talk about pitching events. And pitching events, like I said, you have to like really get good at this in terms of pitching events and just knowing what to do, what to say when you start talking with people, because that's how you're going to get booked. You have to reach out to people. They have to know who you are. And you have to basically say, I'm better than all the other people you're considering. You got to basically say that without saying it. And that's how you're going to get hired. So that's what we're going to do. What's up, Wani? Wani? Yep. I think I said that right again. All right. So let's get back to this. All right. What up, Dean? What up, everybody? Yeah, so like I said, learn how to pitch. And the first thing I want to talk about is you gotta think in terms of like, what's the purpose of reaching out to events? Like you're reaching out to events, you're sending an email, or if you want to call them, you can call them as well. Calling and emailing, it's literally the same thing. The only difference is just you're either on the phone or you're not on the phone. So you're either on the phone or you're sending an email on the computer. But in terms of like what you say, it's the same thing. So it's just a matter of it's like Instagram and Facebook. You can post a picture on Instagram, you can post a picture on Facebook. The only difference is where it's at. So that's why you don't want to worry about whether you call or email. It depends on you if you like to talk on the phone more or if you like to send out the emails more. What I realized a long time ago is I felt like emails were more efficient just because with calling, I didn't really have a system set up at the time as well. So I do want to say if you have a system set up, it's probably more efficient. But what I did at the time, I just took out my cell phone, dialed the number. I was like, all right, let's wait. Voicemail. Like, dang it. And I'd leave a voicemail, hang up, call the next number. And most of the times when you're calling, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get a lot of voicemails, especially nowadays with all these freaking spam callers just calling you all the time. People just sending everybody a voicemail now. So that's what would happen to me over the phone. So I switched to emails. I figured people can check their emails when they want. They can read it whenever they want, get back to me and that sort of thing. So that's why I switched to emails. But we're going to go over, we're just going to go over the pitch, just how to pitch. All right. What up, Mary? What up, Geraldine? So Geraldine, we're going to go over your pitch as well. All right. So like I said, first thing you do is what's the purpose of reaching out? What's the purpose of talking to an event or just sending an email or calling them? The purpose is literally to qualify. All right. That's the purpose. So in fact, let's go here. Let me show you guys my screen real quick. Let's see. All right. So fastest way is probably Event Finder. So the purpose of you contacting an event is literally to qualify. Let's load this thing here. So you're up here. Let's say you found the events. You're up here at the very top where it says prospect part. You're way up here. You found them. Now you're contacting them. So now you're sending an email out or you're calling them, whatever you want, but you're basically contacting them. The purpose of all this stuff in the green right here when you're contacting them is to qualify them to get them into the purple part. That's the purpose, is to basically say to get them to a point where they're interested in you. Like it's not just about a speaker. They're interested in bringing you to their event. So that's the purpose of you talking to an event, right? So just remember that. That's the purpose of you sending out the emails, is to qualify. A lot of people want to know, like, how do I know that events pay, or how do I know that they even have an event to begin with? You really don't. You contact them. That's how you figure it out, right? So that's the whole thing. What up, AT? What up, Denise? What up, peeps? All right, so just understand that. That's a mindset that you really have to shift inside of your brain, because a lot of people, a lot of speakers wonder, well, how do I know the events pay, or how do I know they have an event to begin with, especially if you're contacting a company. So you can Google Fortune 500 companies, or you can Google companies in Las Vegas or whatever. You can Google that. You can have a list of all these companies, but you don't know if they do any events. Like, you don't know if they have events, if they bring in speakers. You have no idea. So what you do is you contact them to figure that out. That's the whole purpose of contacting them, is to qualify. So just understand that part. All right. Now, when it comes to pitching an event, I don't even like the word pitch. Because when people think of pitching, they think in terms of a one-sided conversation. It's like this person's sitting there or standing there or whatever, and you're just saying your thing. You're like, here's why I'm great. Here's what you need. Here's the problem that I solve. Here's this. And they're saying all this stuff in the pitch. They're talking to the person, right? Whereas what it should be is a conversation. It should be like, hey, how's it going? And they reply, oh, it's going pretty good. Oh, that's great. So how's your business doing? Oh, it's doing really good. So it's more like a conversation. It's a back and forth thing. You're not sitting there saying, hey, how's it going? Oh, the weather's really good. And my business is doing really good. And I mean, we've been doing a lot of business. We've been making a lot of money. And you're going on for like 10 minutes. And they're sitting there just like, when is this person going to shut up? And that's literally what happens inside of emails. Like, when people write emails that go on for 6 paragraphs and stuff, they're simply thinking like, when is this person going to shut up? How long is this going? And most people don't even read those emails, by the way. So if you're writing an email that's really long, people don't even read all of it. First thing people do when they read anything online, on their phones, on the computer, whatever it is, they scan. People first scan. So it's like, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the email, right? And I scroll a little bit. I'm like, damn, this is a long ass email. I'll look at that later, right? And then later means never. So that's why you don't really want to have a long email when you're actually pitching events. What up, Barry? What up, Richard? What up, peeps? So that's why you don't want to have the long emails, okay? So just understand, to begin with, that it's a conversation, and in conversations, it goes back and forth. Nobody is talking that long in a conversation because it's back and forth. So you're not talking at them, you're talking with them. So that's the first thing you have to understand. That's why this is set up the way it is. So all you guys inside Speak Pro Academy, you have all these templates. And so the first template, it's literally like saying hi to them. It's basically like, hi, I was wondering, like, who hires the keynote speakers for your event? That's it. Like, it's just like walking up to someone and saying, hi, how's your day? That's what the first part does. It's just the hi. Then after they respond, now you can actually start to pitch them in terms of why they should hire you, type of thing. But understand that it's a conversation. It's not a one-sided thing. It's not a one-sided talking at them to begin with, okay? Then you want to think, let's say you say, hey, how's it going, right? That's what the first email is basically about. Hey, how's it going? Who hires speakers for your event? Then they respond, oh, I do, or so-and-so does, or whatever. Now at this point, you're going to pitch. With the pitch, you want to think in terms of, what's the goal of your email pitch? What's the goal? What are you trying to do? You are not trying to persuade them to give you $10,000 for a speech right there and then in the pitch. You simply can't. Nobody will just receive an email and instantly say, oh, okay, cool, let me just give him $10,000, right? Let's just hire this guy. We haven't seen a single video. We don't know who this person is. Let's just give him $10,000. Give him a check, right? Nobody's going to do that. And this is why you have to understand the goal of your pitch isn't to persuade them to give you money. It's to persuade them to click on the link to your website. That's the goal of your email pitch. And that's what everything that you say in your pitch should be built around. It should be built around creating curiosity. It should create curiosity for them to click on the link to your website. So just keep that in mind. And the big thing that I see with a lot of speakers when they're pitching is they're trying to teach in their pitch. And what I mean by that is they're teaching people what their topic is about. So they say like, hey, hey, John, yeah, my name is Benji. I'm a speaker, and I'd love to come speak at your event. And my topic is going all in. It's a motivational speech. It's about going all in. And basically, I talk about how you need to commit to your life, and you need to do. And basically, what they're doing, the speaker, they're pitching, or they're teaching in their pitch. In this email, they're trying to teach this person what their topic is, and that's why they get a low response rate. And I talked about this before in a couple other videos where I said there's a huge difference between selling you versus selling your topic, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. But just understand that you're not teaching in your pitch. The purpose of your pitch is to literally create curiosity for them to click on the link to your website. And so let me show you a perfect example of this. Inside the Speak Pro Academy, there was a member, there is a member, and he actually had a really good opening line story that he would say in his pitch. And I simply changed the wording just a little bit, right? And here's the example. So he said, he actually used nurses instead of teachers, but I just said teachers. He said, thank you for the work you do as teachers. And his thing was, thank you for the work you do as nurses, right? And then he would go on to do this little story part. And I thought to myself, okay, that's actually really good the way he started, right? But all he had to do was shift it a little bit. So I'll say that again. Imagine you send a pitch where the first thing that you say is, thank you for the work you do as teachers. That's okay, but think about this. This is going to create more curiosity. You say, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because of teachers like you, I was able to build a business and live the life of my dreams or whatever. So, blah, 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 and then you go on to the rest of the pitch. You see the subtle shift, the subtle difference between saying, thank you for the work you do as teachers versus saying, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because of teachers like you, and then you continue with the rest of the stuff. The difference is the first one, you're literally giving them the answer, an answer to begin with. There's no curiosity whatsoever in the first one. You're just saying, thank you for the work you do as teachers. It's like someone saying a riddle to you and then instantly giving you the answer. Whereas the second one is more saying, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And in their mind, they're thinking, thank me for what? Huh? What? So they naturally read the rest of the sentence. It's like, I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because of teachers like you, and then they naturally read the rest. That's the power of creating curiosity. That's the power of copywriting. And hey, that's the power of just being in a Speak Pro Academy, because we just go over stuff like that, right? So that's what you have to do in your pitch. The pitch, there are subtle differences like that create curiosity. You have to create curiosity in your pitch, and then the rest of it, I'll only say the beginning few words, but the rest of it is going to create curiosity for them to click on the link to your website. You are not trying to persuade them to pay you right then and there. You're trying to persuade them to go to your website because your website does the selling. The website, the reason why I keep saying you need to have a great website is because your website is what sells you. Your website is the thing that has the video, the pictures, all that stuff where they look at it, they're like, God damn, let's bring this speaker in, right? So that's the purpose of your website, is to sell. The purpose of your email pitch and the conversation you're having with them is to get them to go to your website. So that's what you have to understand in terms of the actual flow of everything, okay? So there's that. And then earlier I just mentioned in terms of selling the topic versus selling yourself. This is another big mistake that I see a lot of speakers make, is they sell their topic. So they're basically saying my topic is XYZ, the speech is about XYZ, and all that sort of stuff. Don't do that. Because what you're doing is you're taking you out of the equation. You're basically saying, all right, I'm a great speaker, here's my topic, but you're not really saying why you're a great speaker. You're simply saying, here's the topic. And what's going to happen when you do that is a lot of people are going to say oh, no, that's not what we need. And they'll say that all the time to you, just because they'll see your topic. And actually, we went over this inside Speak Pro Academy with a member who was talking about, I'm a health and wellness type speaker, right? And so he was saying that in terms of the fitness. Imagine if you contact, let's say a marketing event, okay? Let's say a digital marketing event. and you were to contact them and say, I'm a health and wellness speaker and motivational speaker, and at that point, they ignore everything. After he says health and wellness speaker, after that, they say, oh, that has nothing to do with digital marketing. Absolutely nothing to do with digital marketing. Sorry, we're not interested. That's what happens when you sell your topic. It's so easy to discount you. I mean, and that's what happens. It's just so easy to discount you because you're selling your topic. So you have to sell you, not your topic. All right. Don't go in and don't write an email about here's what my topic is about. Here's what I speak about in the speech. None of that. The only time you ever talk about what you speak about is when they reply, what exactly do you speak about? That's the only time you should ever actually talk about what you speak about. And even then, once again, you're having a conversation with them. So it's like if you say, I always say I'm a motivational speaker. In the beginning, I used to do what everyone did in terms of describing my topic and describing the speech. Eventually, I realized that was a wrong way to do it, so I just said I'm a motivational speaker. And at that point, I was selling me. Eventually, like when they're interested, they'll say, well, what do you charge? Oh, what do you talk about? So that's when they become interested, right? But you don't want to sell you don't want to sell the topic. You're always selling you over the topic. So you have to think about why you specifically, is your speech funny? Is it entertaining, engaging, interactive? I mean, are you like a celebrity? So are you going to put butts in the seats? So you got to ask yourself, like, why you specifically? So when people hire someone like Gary Vaynerchuk, they hire him because he's literally going to bring people to the event. When people hear he's one of the keynote, or he is the keynote speaker, people come to the event just to see him. And so that's why they hire someone like Gary. On the other hand, if you're not a celebrity speaker, you got to think, well, why me? Like, is my speech hilarious? I mean, is it entertaining? Do I do mind reading? Do I do juggling? Do I tell insanely good stories? Like, what is it about your speech that sells you, right? That's what you have to sit down and think about in terms of selling you. And this is where, when they're interested and ask what is your topic, do you tell them? Yeah. So when they ask you what your topic is, you tell them. So this is just persuasion in general. Okay. So this is like with dating, right? So imagine a guy goes up to a girl. And the guy says, hey, how's it going? My name is so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And he starts talking, right? Well, he hasn't built enough interest for her to care about his name. He simply hasn't. And so that's why, like, the PUA guys, I keep coming back to these guys because they really worked on how to talk to people and social interactions and stuff. It's absolutely insane, the detail that they've gone through with all that. But basically, when you go up to somebody, the reason they don't remember your name is because there's no reason for them to remember your name. So you walk up and it's like, hey, my name is so-and-so. It's like, okay, just goes over their head. There's no reason. You haven't built up enough value for them to want to remember your name. The same goes with your speaking topic. You haven't built up enough value for them to care what your topic is. They're interested in you to begin with. They're like, who the hell is this person emailing me? And so that's what they're thinking. They're like, who's this person? Who's this speaker, right? They're more looking at you. Then when they're interested, they'll say, well, what exactly do you talk about? So now they're expressing some sort of interest at that moment. And so what speakers do is similar to like what guys do in dating the wrong way. They're just doing it in the wrong order. They're simply saying, hey, how's it going? My name is whatever. And they're talking about their name and all that. Everybody forgets their name. On the other hand, if they start talking like, hey, yeah, how's it going? And they express all this interest. Then all of a sudden the girl's like, what's your name, by the way? Now he's got her hooked. Now he's going to get the phone number and have a date and all that sort of stuff. The same goes with speaking. Okay. He said, finest photos. Hi, Benji, just came on. Cool. What's up, Rick? All right. So just understand that in terms of the order of everything. Okay. So this is where the Frank Sinatra sentence comes in. So for those of you who've heard me talk about this, I just made up the name Frank Sinatra sentence. The Frank Sinatra sentence is basically like, what can you say in one or two sentences that builds all the credibility in the world for you specifically, right? And so, for example, if I'm contacting a real estate company and I say to the real estate company, like, hey, John Doe, yeah, I'd love to come speak at your event, whatever. I'm an amazing speaker. Well, at that moment, they're like, okay, cool, whatever. All right, sure. But on the other hand, if I were to say like, hey, yeah, I'd love to come speak at your event. I'm going to teach your real estate agents how I built an 8-figure real estate business in 2 years. That one sentence builds all the credibility in the world for me. Even though, I haven't built an 8-figure real estate business, but you got to, whatever you say has got to be true. But basically, you got to say the thing in 1 or 2 sentences that builds all the credibility in the world for you. So that can be something like that, where it's a brief description of how much money you made in a short amount of time, or just how much money you made in that. Or it can be something as simple as listing the names of companies that hired you previously. That's what I did all the time. That's what I still do all the time, in terms of saying like, oh, I've been hired by X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, and I just list like a ton of companies, right? So it can be something like that. It can be a very short, simple type of credibility builder. But the Frank Sinatra sentence is just, what can I say in 1 or 2 sentences that's going to build all the credibility in the world for me? That's what you want to do with your Frank Sinatra sentence. Okay? So just really think about that. Just that comes down to you and what happened in your past. Like, what exactly is your credibility thingamajigger that you can talk about, right? So understand your Frank Sinatra sentence. And then I talked about this earlier. Basically, when you're sending out an email, or even if you're having a phone conversation with your pitch, you got to understand you're talking too much. You're simply talking too much. You're writing too much. You're talking too much on the phone. It's not you talking at them. It's talking with them. So if your pitch is longer than 2 paragraphs, you're talking too much. And even 2 paragraphs is pretty long. You got to remember, on a phone, 2 paragraphs looks like damn near 5 pages. So you got to understand that when you're writing 3 sentences, when you write a pitch, looks like 2 paragraphs all in one on a phone, okay? So what you do is you simply take 1 or 2 sentences, then you hit enter, you have a new paragraph after 1 or 2 sentences. And so little things like that is what you want to think about, because remember, people are reading on their phones. They're reading your emails and everything on their phones. They're looking at your website on their phones. So you got to understand that your pitch is too long. I receive several emails every day with a lot of speakers telling me what their story is. Once again, they haven't built up enough interest for them to tell me their story. Like, they simply haven't, right? So I get an email, and in my mind, I'm like, who are you? Why should I care whatsoever, right? So they haven't built any interest whatsoever on my part. They just start pitching. They just start telling me their story. And I'm thinking like, what's the purpose of this? Like, what? I'm not going to read this freaking 10 paragraphs, 10 pages of story. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. And on the other hand, the emails that capture my attention, and pretty much everyone's attention, is one, when you start out with like a little compliment. You're patting them on the back with their ego a little bit, like, I love your content, right? Whenever someone says something like that, that's when you really grab their attention. Like, I love your content. So by the way, that's a little tip. If you guys are emailing anyone who produces content, just start with that. I love your content. They'll be like, cool, yeah, cool. I knew it was good. And then they'll read the rest, right? So that's what I mean by creating curiosity in your email as well, to where a simple sentence like that, it creates curiosity. They're like, oh, cool, yeah, I knew my content was good. All right. So you're just using flattery. All right. And so, but understand that you're talking too much inside of your emails. So make it really short. And this is something that Geraldine talked about, where she mentioned in the email that we're about to go over. But she also mentioned, like, hey, I've tested the long versions, the short versions. The short versions always get a better response. And it really does. It just gets a better response. So understand that you got to make it really short. And the last thing I want to talk about before we go over this email pitch is you got to sound in demand. And this is the hardest thing for speakers to do, especially the ones who aren't in Speak Pro Academy, because you don't see it. You don't see that what you're saying makes you sound like a scrub, right? And here's what I mean. So that there are non-in-demand things that you say, like, thank you for your time. Thank you for your response. Things like that make you sound like a scrub. It makes you don't sound in demand whatsoever. Or saying, like, I wanted to make sure I'm not wasting your time. By saying that, you're literally wasting their time. They just read a sentence that says, I don't want to waste your time. I'm like, what? Why didn't you just take that out, not waste my time, and just start with the pitch, right? So little things like that, it makes you sound like a scrub. It makes you sound like someone who's not in demand. In demand people are busy as all hell. Someone who's not in demand, they linger. They're kind of just lingering around. It's like they have nowhere to go, nothing to really do. So those are the people who are not in demand, and you can sense that when they talk. It's like you can just sense it, especially like in emails. On the other hand, an in-demand speaker, they say things like, hey, I'm sorry, we can't hold the date, but what we can do is this, so-and-so. So like, I'm sorry, we can't hold the date, but what we can do is this. Or they say something like, it's going to cost $10,000 plus flight and hotel, but we'll need you to schedule the flight to leave Friday night so he has plenty of time to arrive at his next event Saturday morning or whatever. So little things like that make you sound in demand versus not in demand. And you have to get really good at that. All you Speak Pro Academy members, make sure you're posting your conversations in the group so we can really get good at that as well. That's one of the things that, like I said, if you don't sound in demand, you don't realize that you're doing it. You're being polite, all right? So when people are being really polite, they sound like a scrub. They sound like a non-in-demand speaker. And this is what I went over yesterday, where I was talking about the Felix Dennis quote where he said, most of you are far too nice to ever get rich. And what he means by that, and what I mean by this whole thing of you're being too polite, what I mean by that is by being too polite, by being too nice, you're not direct. And direct people are very in demand. Like, if you look at anyone in a position of power, you will see that they are insanely direct because they don't want to waste their time because they're insanely in demand. When you are in demand, you've got tons of people coming to you, tons of events talking to you, and you're like, I don't have time to waste. Like, I simply don't have time to waste. And so you don't want people wasting your time. You don't want to waste your time. So you're not saying things like you're not being overly nice and stuff in an email or in a conversation. You're getting straight to the point, right? And I can't stress this enough. There's a fine line. And by the way, I'm not saying be mean or anything like that or be unpolite. I'm saying that when you are being polite, you sound in demand. You simply just don't sound in demand. And so that's why you have to adopt the mentality of I'm busy as all hell. And this is what I called WWTRD, right? Years ago when I was like building everything, and I realized this. So the only reason I was able to realize this is because my friend Rich, he always sounded in demand on the phone. It was crazy, the stuff that he was doing. Like whenever he got a phone call, he would put it on speakerphone for me, and he'd start talking. I'm like, damn, Rich, he sounds busy as all hell. And he was always doing things like answering the phone like, hey, yeah, this is Rich. And like, oh, yeah, we'd love to book you for an event. Okay, cool. That's perfect. And yeah, let me check my calendar. When exactly is the date? And he was always doing things like that all the time. So I was able to see what an in-demand presenter was doing versus a non-in-demand presenter and what I was doing. It's like I'm sitting there saying, oh, thank you for your time. And by the way, thank you for your response. And I would do things like that. Whereas he wasn't doing things like that. He's like, oh, yeah, I got to check my schedule. And he sounded busy, and that's why he was busy. And so if you sound in demand, you'll simply just get booked more often. Your perceived value will go from here to way up here, all right? And that's really hard to do in an email, but it's easier to do, way easier to do on the phone. It's hard to do in an email. That's why, like all Speak Pro Academy members, make sure you're posting inside the group in terms of the conversations, and we'll go over that stuff. But I can't stress that enough in terms of sounding in demand and everything. And I want to go over this email for Geraldine. All right, so let's go over this. But just to understand all that stuff, if you guys missed it, just go back and re-listen to everything I just mentioned. So let's go over this real quick. So Geraldine, she basically sent out an email, and then she said the pitch. She's like, hey, Mary, Laurel recommended that I contact you because you handle the speaker series for students. I would love the opportunity to bring my personal experience to your student body at the Curtis School. My speech, Money for Musicians, would bring to your student body the powerful experience you're looking to give them. While being an amazing and dedicated musician is crucial in order to have a career in the music industry, it takes more than that to truly succeed. As a Broadway conductor and the author of the book, The Practice of Success, my speech provides a concrete step-by-step process for how to build a long-term career in the music business so your students can leave the practice room and make money from their passion. All right, and then here's my website so you can see for yourself what I bring to your students. So first things first. So notice notice at the very bottom, so like where my thumb is. All right, so where my thumb is, notice there where it says you can see, or here's my website, right? Notice how the here's my website is underlined. That's the link that she has. You don't want to do that. You want to just have the link to your website, because nowadays people are so suspicious of links when they get their emails. They're so suspicious that they're wondering, like, what am I clicking on, right? They're thinking, like, where does this thing go? So when they see the words my website versus here's my website, www. And then the link to your website, they can actually see the link. They're more likely to click on the link. So just understand that part, okay? So you said the one I got a response from? Cool. So this is the one you got a response from. So with this, then what happened is, I'm assuming they didn't respond to that one. So Geraldine, she followed up, and then she said, hey, Mary, Laurel recommended I contact you because you handle the speaker series for students. I would love the opportunity to bring my personal expertise as a Broadway conductor and the author of the book, The Practice of Success, to Curtis. You can find my speech topics and other details on my website, so you can see for yourself what I can bring to your students. So once again, she followed up. This is what most speakers don't do. Most speakers don't follow up. And there's someone who actually emailed me wanting to do like an interview on the podcast, and I was going to do it. I just forgot to respond because I was just boggled down all the emails. But because they didn't follow up, it's not going to happen. And so you got to understand that a lot of times people they want to respond to you. They're just busy, so they don't respond to you. And so if you don't follow up, you're basically taking the amount of gigs that you could get. Let's say you could get 100 gigs, and you're literally cutting it in half, if not more, just because you didn't follow up. A lot of events, they will hire you. They just forget to respond to you. And so you just got to understand that you got to follow up, and not just once, but twice. Hey, follow up 1,000,000 times if you want, but you got to follow up. I can't stress that enough. You can literally increase the amount of gigs you get just by following up. That's all you got to do. Follow up, and I guarantee you'll get more gigs. All right. So that's the pitch. Notice that. So Geraldine, she did say, when she sent me this, she actually did say, like, by the way, I had a longer version, but that one wasn't doing as well. So she created the shorter version, which is what you need to do. It has to be shorter. And this is, so it's only like two little paragraphs type thing. So it's not long, right? So that they can easily get to it. They can easily read it. The big problem that I see with this is it is focusing more on the speech. This entire email created zero curiosity for me to click on a link to your website. What you did is you tried to sell your speech in the email instead of selling the click to the link on the website. So the difference is, if you're trying to sell the click, you're trying to get them to click on the link to your website, what you're essentially doing is like you're saying, let's see how I could change this. So you said, while being an amazing, dedicated musician is crucial in order to have a career in the music industry, it takes more than that to truly succeed. All right. And then you said, as a Broadway conductor and the author of this, my speech provides concrete. So like here, when you say the presentation provides like a concrete step-by-step process for how to build a long-term career in the music business, at that moment, you could have said, like, as you can see in the videos on the website. As simple as you can see in the videos on the website, that is going to help create more curiosity to get them to click on the link to your website. So remember, that's the difference. I'm not selling me, I'm selling me in the email, but I'm not selling the speech in the email. I'm selling the click to the link. That's what I want them to do, okay? So that's the biggest problem that I see with that. It was obviously good that you followed up. And then also, notice that when she followed up, also notice that the follow-up was very similar to the first email. Okay, and you can actually copy and paste your first email like that. You can copy and paste that pitch and follow up and copy and paste it and follow up again, because they're simply going to think, and I talked about this, they're simply going to think that when you copy and paste that same pitch multiple times in your follow-up, they're going to think that you think they didn't get the email. And that's why you're copying and pasting. Whereas what most people do when they follow up, they say something like, after they did the pitch, they would say something like, hey, hello, Mary. I was wondering, did you get the email that I sent to you a couple days ago? That's what they do all the time in the follow-up. That's what you don't want to do. In your follow-up, you do what Geraldine did, where you basically say the same thing, or you could literally say the same thing in the follow-up. And then they responded with, he said, thanks for reaching out. Your work is very impressive, but I'm not seeing a fit for the series at this time. Best of luck to you. When people tell you this, when people say this is not a fit for us, even though it really is, like, even though like Geraldine's like, oh, what do you mean it's not a fit? Like, that's literally what I do. What you talking about is not a fit. Talking about you guys are musicians. I'm showing your musicians how to actually make a living off this thing. What are you talking about? It's not a fit. What they're really doing is they're being nice to you by saying that your website is bad. That's literally what they're saying. They clicked on a link to your website, guarantee they clicked on a link to your website. They looked at your website and they said, no, this person doesn't look like an in-demand type speaker, right? So that's the problem. When people say that, you got to understand that buyers are liars. They're not telling you the truth, mostly because they don't want to hurt your feelings. People just don't want to be confrontational. That's why in almost every conversation, very few people are direct. Most people are indirect. Like, hands down, if you listen real close to conversations, you will rarely see people being direct. What happens is people will say things like, oh, I'm hungry. They say things like that instead of like, hey, let's go out to eat real quick. Let's go out to McDonald's real quick. It happens all the time. People, I'm hungry. And they're hinting, like they're trying to hint at like, yeah, I'm hungry too. We should go out to eat. Like that's what they do, right? And so that's what buyers do as well, to where they say like, oh, I'm not seeing this as a fit for our event, right? And basically, you got to improve your website. And I looked at your website, Geraldine. You do have to improve your website. Hands down, you got to improve it. I looked at it real quick, especially like on mobile as well. Remember, you're designing your website for the phone rather than for the desktop. I mean, it should look good on both, but it's the phone first, because when people read the email, they're going to read the email. They'll click on the link to the website, and then they'll see your website on their phone. So you got to understand that when people do that, they're just being nice. All right, so you said, do you have website samples that pop? Yeah, I mean, in terms of websites, so if you go to ThemeForest, so this is what I do. If you guys want to just see good websites, just go to themeforest.net, and then you'll see a gang load of websites, right? So I usually go to the WordPress section over here, and then you'll just see nice websites. Like this one, this is a brand new one. This just looks good, like literally just me looking at it right now. Let's see what this thing looks like. All right, so let's remove this. Let's see what this website looks like. I'm sure this is going to look cool. I mean, just looking real quick at the image, it just looked nice. It's taking forever to load, but it still kind of looked cool. All right, maybe. All right, cool. So like here, okay, this is like a conference type of website. So this is really cool. Like just looking at this right now, it just looks good. I didn't even scroll down. This just looks nice in general. Okay, no, that was just their main thing. Let me click on one of these so we can actually see it, the whole thing. But this is that was their landing page for that one. This is actually a look at one of the websites they really built. But you can see like a million different websites that are good. Lewis Howes has a great website. If you want to check out his website, lewishowes.com. He has a really cool website. All right, so like this. So like here, this is a nice website here. I mean, I'd still change the header or whatever. But like, look at this. See here with this cool play button, that sort of thing, and see how the circles around it. It's like that's cool as all hell. Like that's pretty damn cool. And then obviously, if I click on it, then it would hit play or whatever. But this is a nice website. I mean, this wouldn't be for you as a speaker. This is more for if you're hosting a conference. But this just looks nice, right? And so that's what I mean. You got to have a good website. It's the website that sells you, okay? But let's get back to the pitching thing. And so here's essentially what you want to do in the pitch. The pitch, remember, it has to be a conversation. It's like a back and forth thing. And so what I would have done with these people, let me show you guys a screen. So this is the college that Geraldine was talking to. And basically, if you go to their About page, on the About page, they say like they're one of the most selective schools in the U.S. They only accept like basically the top people, right? So I would have used that inside of my response. So the first email that you send out is always like, hi, who hires the speakers, right? They say, oh, I do, or so-and-so does, right? And then you respond. And at that moment, when you're responding, you're going to their website, and you're looking for what can I say in my response that's going to let them know that I'm actually talking to them and it's not a copy and paste template. So here, where it says they're one of the most selective schools in the U.S., they accept only 4% of applicants each year. I would use that in the response. So similar to how I said, when you flatter someone who creates content, you flatter them to begin with. You're like, I love your content. Well, instantly they read the rest. That's what you're doing with your pitch as well. You say like, hey, what was his name? Hey, Laurel, I was taking a look at your guys' website, and I noticed you only accept 4% of applicants. So you guys want the best of the best, which is awesome. Just saying that one sentence, they're like, okay, cool. I know this isn't a copy and paste template. I know this is something where they did a little bit of research. I mean, they don't know that you just looked on their website for 2 seconds and then you responded. But basically, they know that you didn't copy and paste a pitch. If you copy and paste a template, your response rate is going to be insanely low, like ridiculously low, to a point where you might as well not even do it. You're just wasting time. So that's why you want to say, what can I see on their website that I can literally say to them in one sentence real quick, or just make some type of, just allude to it real quick. That way they know I'm literally talking to them. So that's how I would have started the thing. Then I would have gone on to basically sell the presentation. I would have gone on to say something like Geraldine, if you include music with the presentation, I would have said something like that. So I would have been like, oh yeah, and by the presentation, it's really, really interactive. They'll love it because it includes a violin combined with a flute. While doing a really cool motivational talk or whatever. So I would have basically went into how the presentation is really engaging, entertaining, and how you are providing something different. So that's what I would have done instead. All right. But I mean, overall, actually, it's a better pitch than what 99% of speakers actually do, by the way. I'll tell you that right now. What Geraldine said, what she said is a million times better than almost every pitch that I've read with other speakers. Because like I said, most speakers, they go on and on, that's a huge no-no. If you go on and on telling your story, all that sort of stuff, it's a huge no-no. At least Geraldine, she understood what they wanted. The problem with your thing, Geraldine, it was the website. I guarantee it was the website. It wasn't your pitch. Like, sure, I would have changed things in the pitch, but that wasn't the problem. The problem is your website. I took a look at your website. That is hands down the problem. All right, so let's see. You said, what type of content could I use to give a persuasive look on the website as a keynote speaker, even if I just started? So if you just start, this is where you got to get really creative, right? So if you start, you have to... Let's go. Where's it at? Did I close? Oh, dang it. Closed out of it. Oh, let's go back. So if you start, you're going to have to get a really good theme, like a really nice looking theme, just like how we started here. Like this theme itself, it's really nice. Like the way it looks is really nice. So you'll be able to put your own header here, your own text there, your video here. You'll be able to do that. So that's the first thing you do with the website is you just look at the overall look of the thing, and then you replace your own stuff. So like here, where it says here are the speakers for this event, you wouldn't do that. You'd put like reviews or something, like here are the videos you can watch. There'd be 8 videos or video reviews here. So you could do stuff like that. Here'd be a main demo. So little things like that is what I look at to begin with the website. If you don't have a lot of stuff, what you're doing is, this is one of the reasons why, like inside the Speak Pro Academy, I included a ton of pictures for everyone to use on their website. So let's let this thing load. So like here, the photos and graphics. So like this is just a ton of pictures that speakers can use to where it's like, look at this picture here. So this picture, okay, now that's the whole thing. So let's see if I can zoom in. All right, so like this picture here, notice how it's just a big crowd, but you can't really see a speaker on stage. And so that's what you're doing is the Speak Pro members will use something like this. If you're not a Speak Pro Academy member, then you'll buy like a stock photo or something, and it won't be like realistic because this is from an actual event. These are from actual events I was at. So it won't be that, but at least you'll have stock photos that you can use to create really cool images with those. So it's not there in terms of the images, but what you're doing is you're simply just taking photos like these where it's an audience or even like an empty room type thing. You'd want a bigger empty room than this, but you take these and you just get creative with how you design that photo. So let me see. Now, it's going to take too long for me to find it. But basically, you're getting really creative with how you're designing the photos. And then on your website, you're making it a really short website. So it's like you have a home page, an about page. If you have video reviews, and you have like video reviews and a contact page and even topics or whatever. It's just a 5-page website. And then on the home page, it's really short. It's like there's the header, there's some text, there's a video, and that's pretty much it. And it's like a really small type of website. They don't have to scroll forever. So that's kind of what you're doing with the website. You're just getting really creative with the website when you just start. If you just started, you got to join the Speak Pro Academy because it's going to take you a long time to get a really good website when you don't have this stuff. And you got to get creative with how you're getting it. So it's similar to like another example. So like video. So let's say you don't have video footage of you on stage. All you're going to do is just hire a videographer to create a video like this. So if you haven't watched this video, then go here, watch this video. Go to benjibruce.com and then watch this video. Basically, this video is like an about me story. So all it really is, there's no footage of me on a stage, nothing like that. It's literally me here at my place, and I'm just saying like, here's the story. Like, yeah, I started out as an entertainer and blah blah blah, and I'm telling my story, but it's done in a really nice way. So that's how you get video footage of you when you have none, like when you have no gigs or anything like that. You have to get really creative when you're just starting out. That's why I tell everybody, join the Speak Pro Academy because we can get your website up really quick. If you're not procrastinating. When I say really quick, I mean if you're sitting there taking a month to actually build your website, then that's all on you, right? So you just got to get creative with that. But understand that in your pitch, your email pitch, the purpose of the pitch is to literally create curiosity for them to click on the link to your website. The website does the selling. You need to focus on having a great website. That's what sells you. No matter what you say, you got to think of it like this. When you talk to someone, here's what they hear. Blah, 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 blah. That's what they hear. What they want to do is they want to see, it should be like this. Blah, 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 blah. Here's proof. Oh, what proof? Huh? What? Oh, proof. Oh, okay, yeah, let me click on there. All right. Okay, he is a good speaker. Great website. Okay. That's how it really should be, okay? I had a guy here a couple days ago, hands down a scam artist, and when he came here, he wanted me to invest like commercial properties and stuff. Everything that he said to me, all I heard was blah, 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 give me some money, blah, 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 give me some money, blah, 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 blah. That's all I heard because he had no proof. He had no website. Well, he had a website. It was horrible. It looked like it was built back in 1980. So that instantly, his credibility shot down, like way down. I mean, just like instantly shot way down because I looked at his website. I'm like, how can you tell me you're so successful that you're best friends with Trump? That's what he was claiming. Not best friends, but he was close friends with Donald Trump. He had a picture, but anyone can get a picture with Trump if you're in the right place at the right time. And so everything he was saying to me, I'm like, this guy's a BS artist. He's a con artist, right? Because every time I started even asking him questions about the details and all that, he's like, oh, no, but we just got people for that. Like, we just know that we just got people for that, right? I'm like, this dude is a scam artist, man. And so You just have to assume that everything you say in a pitch, everything you say verbally, all they hear is blah, 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 blah. The only thing they hear is here's proof. And that's the link to your website. It's like, here's proof that I'm a great speaker. Here's the videos that you can see on the website. I mean, so-and-so, Apple, Microsoft, McDonald's, all these companies brought me in, and you can see the reviews and you can see the videos on the website. That's what they're looking for. That's literally the purpose of your entire pitch. Get them to your website. Your website does the selling, okay? So you said do the website professionally. Yeah, exactly. Like the website really is the first thing, the first thing that you want to focus on. So website question, what if you're an author as well as a speaker? Do I drop the focus on my books? Yeah, exactly. So think about it. Why would you sell a $10 book when you sell a $10,000 speech? There's absolutely no reason to put focus on a book. Like you're not selling a $10 book. And I know a lot of people think that a book makes them an expert. It doesn't matter. Let's say I'm Google. Google always wants to have fun. So Google, they always want to have fun. They're always doing cool stuff, right? All of a sudden you have a book. You're saying, here's a book because you think it features you as an expert. Google doesn't care. Google is like, we want to have an amazing event, this Christmas party that we're having. We want people to laugh, just die laughing, have a great time, say this is hands down the best event I've ever been to. Who are they going to hire? A guy who has a book claiming to be an expert on the topic of whatever that book is, or a guy with the website where they see people dying laughing like, oh, this is a funny presentation, amazing. Microsoft, Apple, all these other companies hired him. Who are they going to hire? The guy who features a book or the guy who says this presentation is the funniest damn thing you've ever seen in your life? They're going to hire this guy. So that's why you don't want to talk about your book. You can have your book on there, but you don't want to feature it. Everything on your website should be featured around selling your presentation. You're selling the presentation, not a book. All right. So just keep that in mind. So you say, how fast after joining can I get help with my website? Well, I mean, after joining, you just post inside the group, and then we'll help you immediately. It's a matter. So here's the thing. I tell people, don't put it on me in terms of the work you have to do, okay? So how fast that depends on how fast you go, not me. If you post inside the group, I answer. If you don't post inside the group and you don't do anything, your website is going to take months. Maggie built her website in 2 days. Like Maggie on here, I'm pretty sure she's still on here, but Maggie, she joined and we were doing the website boot camp. I was showing everybody how to build the website real quick. In 2 days, she got her website up. And whereas other people, I've been telling them for a year, like change up your website, guarantee for a year I've been telling them and they still haven't done it. So it's not me, it's you. How fast are you going to go? Not me. And so if you go and you understand the website aspect and we talk about that inside the group, I'm going to tell you like, oh, change up the picture like this, change this up. If you don't do that, it's going to take you however long, a year, however long, right? So Maggie just commented, right? So once again, this is why like when people say like, how long is it going to take me to book gigs after joining the program? Like, I don't know. What are you going to do every day? I mean, are you going to send out one email every week or are you going to send out 100 emails every day? So it's not on me, it's on you. You're 100% responsible for your life, for your business, for your results, 100%. Okay. So you said it was easy with Benji's template. Yeah. So here's what it is. So basically I have you guys buy a certain theme. And then with the themes, there's the website layout. So you go here with the website layouts. All you're literally doing is you can either use like one of these website layouts in here. Like I tell you, basically you download the layouts. There's different layouts you can use. And then you use the pictures and stuff. In fact, here, I'll show you how quick it is. All right, let me, all right, yeah, so let's go to the back end here. So imagine this, all right? So imagine you went to your website instead of speakproacademy.com. It's your website. You go over here, you upload WordPress, you get all that set up, you upload the theme, you click add a new page. So now we're going to have your home page, all right? Here's how fast you can do this. Watch this. Just watch this right now. It just comes down to how fast your thing loads. So home test page. You type in whatever you want there. Home test page, home, whatever you want. You're going to click here. You're going to click load the layout, like you'll have the layouts and stuff. And here's a ton of pre-made layouts that you can use. You can choose from any one of these if you want, or one of mine's. But let's say we go here, I click this. I would click use this layout and it would load the layout, but I don't want to load it. So I'm just going to click, like, let's say I click load the layout. Instantly, I now have this website. I now have this layout instantly, literally just a couple clicks. Here's my website instantly. At this moment, I'm just going to edit stuff. I'm now going to change the text. Instead of this, it's going to say motivational speaker. Instead of this, I'll put in whatever I want there. Instead of this picture, this is going to be a video. Instead of this, I'll put text there. Here is going to be 8 video testimonials, or 8 pictures, or whatever I want to put there. And so that's how quick your website is going to get built. That's why Maggie was able to build the website so fast, because it's just a template. You just take one of the templates, upload it. Now you're just putting in your own stuff in all that. That's all you're doing. Okay, let's see. Alex said, Benji's program requires you figuring out anything that's stopping you from getting gigs. Yeah, exactly. So what Alex said, that's exactly the point. I keep saying this in terms of, as an entrepreneur, your superpower is figuring things out. Okay. If you want someone to do everything for you, you absolutely, hands down, will fail in business. Hands down. The purpose of every entrepreneur, the superpower of every entrepreneur, is figuring things out, because the bigger you get as an entrepreneur, the bigger your business gets, the more problems you're going to have, and the more problems you're going to have that don't have solutions, like instant solutions that you can ask someone and they instantly know the answer. Like, for example, like Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk sent out the tweet and got in trouble with the SEC. That's not like a solution that you can read about in the book. He's like, he got in trouble. They're suing him. They're trying to come after him. He's like, oh, damn, let me go read a book or whatever. And so there was no answer to his situation. He had to figure out an answer. So that's why the superpower of an entrepreneur is figuring things out. So if you don't, like, let's say you go in there onto the website, you upload it and all that sort of stuff, and then you don't know how to upload a video on the theme. What most people do is they say, oh, I don't know how to do it. Oh, that sucks. This is frustrating as all hell. Or maybe they'll go into the group and they'll post, how do I change the picture on the site? And I say, why didn't you just go and Google that? And then you would have instantly had the answer. Someone would have showed you a video actually showing you what to do. Like, literally, all right, here's how you do the theme and here's how you do this. So you got to learn to figure things out on your own as well. But something like that, I'm telling you, the website stuff is really easy. All right, so let's see. You said, so the templates on your site have purchased. No, so the templates they come with everything. What you have to purchase is the theme. The theme, you got to purchase their theme, because it's not my theme. I can't just give it to you. So I can create templates and stuff and give it to you, but I can't give you the theme. That's their business. So you got to purchase the website theme. And then what else you got to purchase? Let's see, the website theme. That's it. Purchase the website theme, and that's it. I mean, obviously you got to have like hosting. You got to have whatever you use for hosting. You got to have that. You got to have the website theme. That's it. The website theme. That's it. You just got to know how to install WordPress on your website, things like that. And that's things that I will not go over. So if you were to ask me how to install WordPress, I will not go over that. Absolutely never. I'll literally tell you to Google it, because the way I think of it like this: if you can Google your question, Google it. If you can't, ask it inside of the group, because when you Google, you get the answer instantly. Whereas if you ask a question inside the group, one, it won't be as detailed of an answer, like hands down, just won't be as detailed. And two, it's just going to take you longer to get the answer. So if you can Google the question, Google it. Okay. So you said, so if I already have a site, I can use what you have for no additional cost. No. So no, you got to have a theme. So a WordPress site always needs a theme to it. Okay, so what I'm saying is, like, your WordPress is just a name of the platform, right? That's all it is, just the platform. Then in order to have a website, it's called a theme. So the theme has to change. All right, so whatever theme you're using has to switch to the theme that we're using. Otherwise, you can't use the templates that I created. So you have to buy the theme that I'm using in order to use the templates that I'm using. Otherwise, you just can't, right? I will say, hands down, there's almost nobody has a good website to where I say, oh, no, you're good to go. Almost every speaker, and I've talked with tons of speakers, has shown me their website. And the first thing I always say, fix your website. Fix your website every single time. Everyone thinks they have a great website, but it's not great. You have to have like a great website. Otherwise, it's just harder to get hired. It's just too hard. So you say, I have a theme too, but I will purchase a different theme. Yeah, so you have to get a different theme. Yeah, everyone who has a WordPress website has a theme. You just got to buy the theme that I'm using. And that's what you have to do if you're going to use my templates. If you're not going to use my templates, then you got to go off your own thingamajigger, your own theme, right? So you said, I know my website needs serious help. Yeah, cool. That's the first step, admitting that you need help. First step of change, admitting you need help. I can't tell you how many speakers don't think they need a new website. Like, it's literally what you just said, Kathy. You just said what 99% of speakers will not admit. Speakers will always tell me, but I have a website. I'm like, I don't care if you have a website. You don't have a good website, right? It's not a great website. And so you got to have a great website. And I know people watching this are like, what does the website have to do with pitching or whatever? It has everything to do with pitching, okay? They may seem separate, but your website is the thing that sells you. It is the thing that sells you. So if you don't have a great website, everything you do is wasting your time. Every conversation you're having with people is wasting your time because you don't have a great website. And so it's literally like you try to walk into a job interview and your shirt is raggedy, stains on it, ripped, jeans are ripped and everything. And everything that you do in terms of trying to get a job is a waste of your time. You'll walk in, instantly they're like, nope. You won't even say a word to them. Like, you won't have the chance to say anything to them. They'll just, nope. The Pursuit of Happiness movie, in the movie, Will Smith goes up for the job interview, and he was painting previously. He was in jail, so he looks like a scrub, right? Normally he's in a suit, but he looked like a scrub. And then they commented on it. They're like, or I think he first said something about it, whatever. And it was a movie, though, and that's why he was able to get the job in the end. In real life, if that happened, they would have immediately discounted him, like instantly, right? They would have saw that, they'd be like, nope. That's literally what would have happened, but because it was a movie, they had to do it the way they did. So you got to understand that when it comes to your website, just like how I said that the guy that came the other day trying to get me to invest in commercial real estate, the guy, I mean, I looked at his website. I mean, he always dressed nice. Like every time I saw him, he dressed nice. Well, a couple of times I saw him, but when he said, he almost bragged about it too. He's like, oh, before we meet up, take a look at my website. And so I'm thinking like, okay, it's going to be a nice website. I go to him, I'm like, what? And instantly I discounted him. Like, it was instant, just instant. And so you got to understand, you got to have a great website. But like I said, if you guys join the Speak Pro Academy, I'm telling you, that's how you get a website done really fast. That's the way I just showed you. That's how you get it done really fast. On top of that, in terms of like me showing you what to change and how to improve the website and us talking about it, that's how you get it done really fast. Because otherwise, you don't know what to improve. Like you're sitting there wondering like, well, how do I make the website good, or how do I make it great? And you don't know that it's not as good as it needs to be. And so it's almost like let's say the person where they dress really like horribly, they got torn shirt, torn jeans, stains and stuff. If that person goes and they go shopping themselves, what's going to happen is they're going to get things that are too big for them and all that sort of stuff. On the other hand, if they just say, you know what, let me just hire a consultant, a dress fashion consultant or whatever, the fashion consultant's going to be like, get this, bam, you look good. And that's what Speak Pro Academy does. It's like you can go on and build your own website just like someone would go on and dress themselves. But once again, it won't be as good. Like you're just basically getting bigger clothes and the clothes still won't fit you and all that. And you'll think it's good and maybe it's a little bit better, but it's not as good as a fitted suit and a tailored suit type thing, right? So that's why you really got to join Speak Pro Academy. But all right, we are good to go for today. I will see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you have any questions, make sure you email me or whatever. So take care. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. Right? Yeah. So tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.